Hello, my name is Kevin Davis. I'm a product manager here at CA Technologies on the IM 2.0 product. Specifically, I'm responsible for the Performance Center. In this short demonstration, we're going to take a look at how easy it is to drill down to take a look at the performance of a particular device, be the device a server, a router, or a switch. So for example, if I wanted to go in and take a look at a particular device like a router, I simply need to go up here to the inventory menu and select devices. Once I've selected devices, all of my devices show up here. I can also search by device name. So for example, I'm going to search on the string USTX, and it's going to show me all the devices that match that string. So let me go ahead and drill down to this particular device. And when I drill down, what we're going to show you is everything that we know about this particular device from all the data sources that are feeding into IM 2.0 and into the Performance Center. So for example, here on the Details tab, you can see the name of the device and whether or not it's reachable. So was it there the last time we tried to talk to it? We're going to give you identity information. We're going to tell you about the platform, what model it is, what version of iOS is running on it, and we're going to tell you about the SNMP information related to the device. But another very important piece of information we're going to present to you is over here to the right, the group membership information. What the group membership information does is it goes in and it takes all the groups that this device is a member of and presents them right here. So for example, if I created a group, and let's say that this particular router is a Cisco 3800 series router, I could create a group called Cisco 3800 and put all of my routers of that platform into that group. I could also create another group, say for example, this particular router is acting as an edge device for WAN connectivity, is I could create a group called WAN 3800 routers. By creating these groups, they will show up here in the group membership as long as this device is a member of those groups. And so in my troubleshooting workflow, if for example I were to see that the CPU utilization was 74%, and I suspect that, hey, that's kind of a high CPU utilization, I wonder if that could be impacting performance. What I could do is I could easily click on the groups, say a Cisco 3800 series group or the WAN 3800 series, and whenever I click on that, it's going to take me to the group context where I'm going to see the top end views of this router and the other routers in the group. And whenever I do that, one of the things I see when I look at top CPU utilization is that this router's reported CPU utilization is actually right in the middle of all the others, and none of the others are having a performance issue. The reason this is important is in troubleshooting, quite often we're playing the game of which one of these is not like the other. So by providing the group membership information, it's very easy for a network engineer or for a manager to take a look and see, hey, is this particular metric like the value of other metrics of other similar platforms or other routers performing similar functions, such as core distribution or edge. Down here on this first tab, we're also showing you availability trend with events. So critical aspect anytime you're troubleshooting is to know whether or not the device is up, is it accessible, and if it has not been up or accessible previously. So we're going to show you availability trend with any events that are associated with this device. And then over here to the right in the calendar heat chart, we're going to show you the availability over the past 31 days. One of the things that you'll notice about this calendar heat chart, and I'll go through a little bit more when we look at the interface calendar heat chart, is we've improved this from the previous version of the Performance Center MPC 6 in that we're showing the actual days of the week and each column heading and the month and the date individually. So it's very easy for you to spot which days are Mondays versus Fridays, say Saturday and Sunday are non-business days. And so it's very easy for you to go down and take a look and see which days are part of your business week and look at particular hours. Also, when you hover over each square, we're going to tell you the date and the time, and in this case, the availability during that period of time. If you look across here at the top, we're going to tell you the system health. So in the system health, we're going to show you three gauges. The first one is average CPU utilization. This is across all CPUs on this particular device. The next is average memory utilization, again across the main memory of this device. And then the average interface utilization, again across all interfaces on this device. So you may ask, well, why do we have average CPU utilization across all CPUs or average interface utilization across all interfaces in this view. Well, the reason we do that is if you see large swings of CPU utilization here when we're going across all the CPUs in this device, you know that there's some kind of platform-wide problem that could be impacting the performance of the device. Same way here, if you see large swings in interface utilization, they know that there are wide variances in interface utilization on this platform and that could be contributing to a performance issue. Now, one of the neat things about these gauges are new for the Performance Center, is you can see that the needle shows you the average value over the time interval. In this case, we're reporting the last hour. We also show you the last hour down here in text, and we show you the minimum value during this past hour and the maximum value during this past hour. We show that to you textually because many of our customers, they really learn and they operate using text. Other customers learn and operate using visual stimulus. So in this case, you can see here this gray sweep area underneath the needle in this white bell. You can see the minimum value is reflected by this side and the maximum value by this side. So visually, we're showing them the area in which this needle has swept during this time interval. So it's very easy to see that during this past hour, the average interface utilization has been kind of constant versus, let's say, this gray area were to sweep all the way over here, and let's say it was 80 or 81%, then we can see a wide variance in utilization. And whenever you see a wide variance in anything, be it memory, CPU, interface, that variance can be felt by the users and experience and impact their end user experience, causing them to see performance issues. The next thing that we're going to show you is the average CPU utilization trend over time and any events associated with that. Memory utilization with trend. And then down here, we're going to show you long term. How is the utilization for the CPU performing over the past month? How is the memory for this router performing over the past month? So right here in just this second view, you can see the wealth of information that we're providing for you. Now, one of the things that you may notice is that whenever I put my mouse cursor over this view, these double doors with these arrows are just begging to look like they want to part. So in this case, even though I don't have good data, let me just show you how this works. Is whenever you see this double doors with these arrows on both sides appear, what that means is that you can click and drag on this view and drag across. As soon as it turns dark gray, you know you've highlighted enough area where now you can focus in and magnify in terms of resolution and graphing space on that particular area of the graph. So in this case, I've magnified this area and it has brought it out into a larger viewpoint with higher resolution. If I wanted to apply this, let's say I saw something interesting, I wanted to see that level of granularity in all the other views on this chart. So for example, memory utilization, I can simply click right here, apply to dashboard, and it would apply to all the views on this page or any dashboard where you see this. But right now, I'm just going to quickly say undo so I can show you another feature. One of the things that you'll see here, again in this one view, it's very important for an engineer to have context. Is this normal? Is this abnormal? Is this increasing or is this decreasing? Other bits of information that we provide the customer here or the engineer that's troubleshooting, as you can see in the background, you can see a baseline. And not only do you see a baseline so the user can tell whether this is normal or abnormal behavior, you also see these projection lines. So here in this dotted maroon line, you see average utilization projection. And in this dotted gray line, baseline average projection into the future. So what we do is we take whatever the time interval is that's being reported, in this case 1 hour, we're going to project that same time interval into the future. So in this case, we have 1 hour of data that we're reporting on. You can see up here we're looking at the last hour. We're going to project that data 1 hour into the future. The reason we automatically project this is this really gives a firm anchor to the significance of the projection. Sometimes as we've been around working with different engineers and different customers, one thing that we may find is that a customer would take 1 hour's worth of data and project that 3 months into the future. And the conclusion would be, hey, this T1 that's currently 90% utilized, in 3 months we're going to need an OC12 or perhaps a gigabit interface to take this traffic. And that may be a false assumption, given that they only have 1 hour of data upon which to base that projection on.